Hey guys, Scott here. It's a Breathe Right strip. We're going to go over the new perks from Alan Wake. Usually I go over the perks of the entire chapter, but since this is just a paragraph, we just have survivor perks and that's it. So let's go over starting with Boon Illumination. This is a boon that you set down. When you are inside of the boon, you see every generator and chest on the map. This can be actually surprisingly decent in solo queue. Basically gives everybody deja vu or whatever perk you want to actually see generators. Clairvoyance, I guess, is a better example. So I could see for solo queue that actually being really useful. You can stop yourself from 3-genning if you're on a really hard to find generator map like RPD or Hawkins or Larry's or something. Just plopping that down, survivors can see it, they can go in it and then find where the gens are. So that's pretty nice to give value to people. I think that's better than people give it credit for. Is it better than something like Circle of Healing? No, probably not, but giving everybody a bonus perk is still really, really nice. Deadline, this perk appears when you're injured. Skill checks appear 10% more frequently when repairing and healing and appear in random places. Pretty much the only time I can think this is anything resembling a useful perk is when you do it with the whole hyper focus stakeout, this is not happening build. That could actually be extremely good, and that's probably the only time I could see this perk having any real value. But using that build, in my opinion, it would actually have a ton of value. That would actually be an extremely strong combo. However, I'm sure if you've seen, the whole hyperfocus combo is not widely used because it is frankly hard to use. And this sounds like it makes it even harder because you're going to have essentially Doctor Madness skill checks where they're just at random points in the screen. So that's even harder to use. So this technically has one of the highest skill caps and rewards in the entire game for Survivor. But I'm going to say 95% of people will find basically no use with this perk whatsoever. I'm, of course, going to try it because I think that sounds pretty busted in combination with hyperfocus and being really good at skill checks. But even then, I'm not going to hit all of them. So it remains to be seen if that'll be amazingly strong. But for the most part, pretty niche, actually extremely niche, not usable by the majority of the player base. So not very good. Champion of Light. When you're holding a flashlight, this perk activates. When you're shining a flashlight, you have 50% haste. That's 50% haste of your slowed down movement speed while shining a flashlight. You don't run at 150% movement speed. You move 50% faster than the vastly slower movement speed you have while shining a flashlight. When you blind the killer, they are hindered for 6 seconds. This effect can't stack. That's a lot. A 20-second or a 20% hinder for 6 seconds is actually pretty huge. If you're blinding at pallets, probably why they changed Shadowborn in conjunction with this patch. A 20% hinder is massive. That basically makes the killer slower than a survivor, and it's for 6 seconds too. So that lets the survivor gain significantly more distance after blinding at a pallet or something like that. Now, it's not really useful if you're getting like a flashlight save or something because the killer's going to be stunned for 3 seconds and then they'll be slowed for 3 more seconds. So it's not super useful for that. It's mostly if you want to blind people at pallets or windows and things like that, you can actually get a pretty large amount of distance. So that is probably the most useful perk that he has overall. That being said, compared to like Nick Cage, the last pure survivor we had, I'd say these perks are far less interesting. They are not really even a strong. Plot twist to this day is still actually surprisingly useful. Dramaturgy, so giving you insane toolboxes and things like that. So overall, I give this like a B minus, C plus. It's like I can think of a couple of uses of these. Champion of Light for blinding and pallets, very good, but also instantly countered by Lightborn. Boon Illumination, great for solo queue and information. Deadline, good for a one specific build, and that's basically it. Other than that, not super great stuff here, so probably nothing you'll see in the meta other than people trying to piss you off with Champion of Light. That's it. That's the perk review for the new paragraph with Alan Wake. Thanks for watching.